What's up, Phil? It's your boy Wayne too. Hey man, I just wanted to say that I love what you did with the Ill Phil Awards and I love what you're doing with the podcast and spreading a message of positivity. Hit me up sometime, man. Let's kick it and let's get on that show and tell the world how the top 5 Ill Phil Awards came about. Hit me up sometime.
Welcome to Positive Philter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career with a little self-help around the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope that what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place. Philip Wilkerson back with another episode of Positive Philter. Today I have a special guest with me, my boy Wayne Too Nasty. We're located in the burbs of Richmond, Glen Allen.
Why'd you have to say the burbs?
Because, I don't think anyone knows what Glen Allen is, so I had to kind of set that tone. And
I struggle with the identity of living in the burbs, though.
Well, we're old now. I live in the burbs. You live in the burbs. Burbs. We're suburban thugs.
That's true.
So this episode we're gonna set up. I think in particular the reason why not only am I just hanging out with my awesome friend is that we share probably a very special bond because together me and my guest Wayne went on one of the most amazing trips of my life. It's called the Summer '04 in China.
Was it summer? It was 2006.
Oh, yeah. Why am I saying 04? It's 2006.
Maybe you're thinking another greatest summer of your life, man.
I think just summer 04 sounded better in my head, but I remember summer 06.
Like top 5? Top 3?
Golly, baby brain or whatever you call it. So, summer 06. So, kind of setting it up, me and Wayne both went to the most prestigious university in the state of Virginia. What university is that?
The James Madison University.
The James Madison University. Go Dukes. And so, setting up before that summer, both of us had different experiences of how we ended up in China. So I kind of want to go with Wayne here, who happens to be, if you follow along my Ill Phil Awards, top 5 Asian friend of all time. But tell them a little setup about this trip for you and how you led you to China.
Well, for me, I identify myself as a Chinese American. Actually, I used to identify myself as just Chinese growing up. I was born in Virginia, went to college thinking that, I want to find myself, and I think, making the most out of my Chinese heritage was the best way. So I studied, learned Mandarin in college, and wanted to study in China and live abroad. And then I thought at the time, post-college, that I wanted to live abroad in China as well. So this was really a stepping stone and what I thought was a natural progression in my education and in my life. I came to find out that, it was a great trip, but I learned a lot more about myself, but we'll get into that. But anyways, we met at the info session for that, and I had no idea who Phil was prior to that, and, we became really good friends as a result of going to China together.
So I find that very interesting. Wayne had the trip for him was tied to identity. It was tied to, somewhat career purpose of after college. And for me, I was happened to be in festival getting lunch, and the guy at the table asked if I wanted to go to China, and I said, sure, I wanted to just go. So we see how the randomness that is me sometimes plays out because I made a lifetime friend from this trip.
I'm still amazed that you chose to go to China because of a trip to get lunch.
I'm not gonna lie. When I went to the international festival or international study abroad fair, all the other tables had lines out the door, and I just went to the one where the person was the most welcoming. And then additionally, I just told you this tonight, which you probably had no idea. The only reason that cemented that trip for me is that at the information session after the fair, I sat next to you, and literally, you were pretty cool. And I said, I guess everyone that goes to China is pretty cool. And I just said, I'm gonna go.
Well, we had some pretty cool cats on our trip, I think.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
Some cooler than others.
We were the coolest, obviously.
I have to make a correction to earlier. Earlier I said the James Madison University. It's just JMU, James Madison University. Let's not mess up the name on there. Put some respect on that name.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they I think the University of Virginia is like they had to put the "the," but we were just James Madison.
But we're better too, so we want to go the as well. We need an article in front of it. Anyways,
but let us
put some respect on the name.
Put some respect. So, when we went to this trip, it was coincidentally, I vividly remember this. It was 12 Chinese American students, 12 white students, and me, the sole black man. I think that kind of made my experience pretty unique because during the whole trip, I stood out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. I don't remember how many Chinese people were there or how many white people were there, but I do remember that you were the only black person there.
I mean, so therefore, in our memory, that served
And
us.
you got so much love and respect just because of the color of your skin in China.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like
they were infatuated with you.
I felt like I not kind of understand why Stephon Marbury moved over there. I mean, you get mad love in China for real.
Unless you're Chinese American, because then they put their nose up at you.
And that was the experience that you got. That was weird. That was weird.
It was I know. That's how I felt about it. You know, I didn't feel going there. I felt super welcome, but I didn't get anybody to ask. I didn't get asked to give my autograph. I think you gave out some autographs there.
I gave out autographs, and I counted. I took about 20 pictures with strangers.
Yeah. See, I didn't get any requests for photos too. And then
They also said you talked weird.
Yeah, well, I have a Cantonese accent.
And remember they said that.
My native tongue is Cantonese, so my Mandarin is a thick Cantonese accent.
So I mean, that was some different experiences because I remember that. You would say like you would talk in Chinese, but they would. I think some people would even look at you strange, even as a Chinese American, because you were speaking in like a different dialect.
Yeah, my Chinese just wasn't that very good over there. You know, I didn't speak it well. I spoke it well enough to get by. Well, yeah, but I wasn't black, so they expected it. They expected me to speak better, but
well, also did I tell you this though? That even though being black, did I tell you I wasn't? When I went over there, I told either I was from Africa or I said I was from Canada because they didn't like Americans sometimes. So I was like the pre-Drake. I would say I said I was from Canada. I mean, how do you say Canada again in Chinese?
Canada.
In
Cantonese, I think it sounded exactly like.
I think I said it, Canada. I think I said that. I think I remember vividly saying not American.
Yeah, you know the other one story that I remember to attest to Phil's blackness is we were in one college, I think maybe Weihai
University.
Okay,
yes.
and the students were like, "Oh, we should play a game of basketball. Let's play a game of basketball after class." And you know, a bunch of us from JMU were like, "Yeah, okay, we'll play a game of basketball, I guess." So we meet out of the basketball court, and when we get there, there's a sign that says USA China, and it's a scoreboard, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
There was a couple people around it, and then we look on the basketball court, and every Chinese person is like 6 foot or
they were tall.
They were tall and they were big. Well, come to find out, they challenged us to a game of basketball against their college basketball team, right?
yeah. And they all had like matching shoes, like legit uniforms.
Yeah, and they were really worried about Phil. Like legit worried, like, oh, they got a black guy on their team. Like we gotta play up on him. And they were disappointed.
I mean, I want to put this out there. It might be a surprise to some, but not all black people can play basketball, and I am that one. Was it that percentage of black people that can't and has no handles? I like to fashion my game after Ben Wallace, even though I'm not tall. I just get rebounds or hustle very hard. And I think you're correct when you were saying that I was a great disappointment to the University of Weihai.
Yeah, and Team USA too, man. You really let us down. We were hoping that they knew something that we didn't know.
I I think I remember even having the pressure and looking at you guys and saying, you know, I can't play basketball. And like you're like, you knew, like it wasn't a surprise to you guys that I couldn't play basketball. I just didn't think that they were going to bring like their A team.
Yeah.
Like, it was basically JV versus varsity.
Phil, you know what else came out of the China trip?
What's up?
Your top 3 or top 5 stuff. You should tell everybody about how that came about, because I know the story.
You know the backhand story.
I know the story really well.
Basically, I mean, in general, I already said about the Ill Phil Awards, but the greatest kind of like inside joke, I guess, is spoiler alert for all those people that got their Ill Phil Awards and received categories of top 5. That story originated because while we were in China, we had a great professor, Professor Wong, who
He was awesome.
he was actually like
The best host.
Yeah.
Great professor.
Showed us a blast. Always, I think he even put on himself the pressure of having to represent China. So he always made sure that he showed us the best things. He made sure all the meals we had were family style, and we always tried different food. But one thing that was always important to Dr. Wong was that we were very aware that everything that we did or ate or visited was ranked. Everything was ranked, from riding a bike. This is the top 3 bicycle rental place, to eating food, to touristy spots. Like, this is the top 3 panda base.
All of China.
Of all of China.
Or whatever.
He would always rank everything.
He just wanted the best for us, but as a result, everything became a
competition.
Well, not a competition. He just ranked everything.
Ranked everything.
But he wanted the best for us. I think that's why. But Phil and I took that as like,
we ran with
this
it.
is a great joke.
Yeah, it's a great joke.
This is top anything. This is the top 3 joke in the world of our life.
Top 3.
Right?
We came back and we would drink beer. I'm like, this is the top 3 light beer. And he'd always say, and
drunkest I've ever been.
he'd always be like, you must believe it. Like, no one called you a liar, Dr. Wong. Like,
he did. Another line was, you have to believe it.
You must believe it. You must believe it.
That's how enthusiastic he was. That was Dr. Wong.
So for all those people out there, I still got love for you. You are top something to me. But just know that because of Dr. Wong, life is a competition.
No, well, I think the spirit of the top anything, I feel like, to me, is like you emphasizing the importance of each one.
Yeah.
Right? And not to make the number trivial, but it's just, hey, you're a great friend, or saying you're one of my best Asian friends. You are the best Asian friend. You know, it's like a little more to it. I think it's special, man.
What I think Dr. Wong also did to talk was that he made, when I make my categories or say top 3 things, he actually specifically was very focused about it. Like, so I try to remember a fact about someone when I say top 3 or top 5. When I say top 5, I kind of had to expand it because, you know, I know like 5 people. I like know 5 Asians.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you are of all time, though. I had to change.
It sucks I'm ranked 5, though, man. That kind of sucks.
You're like, oh, I'm not going to get my trouble, man. I got my Sam Nang, you co-cap, man. I got 2 1s.
All right, see,
you have to meet Sam Nang now.
Yeah, Sam, I felt like is my competition, you know?
Life is competition.
Yeah, I'm over here trying to wine and dine Phil to be number 1, but...
Out in suburbia.
But your name keeps coming up. No, I'm just kidding. You seem like a great guy. But anyways...
No, but so a lot of things came out of the trip. Just in recap, for Wayne, it was a journey for him to, solidify his heritage.
Let me finish that. Before I went to China, I always labeled myself as Chinese to like all my American friends. After I got to China and spent time there, now I call myself Chinese American.
So it solidified both your identities then?
No, it's just one identity. My identity is Chinese American because I grew up in America and I have a lot of American customs and cultures, and it's different from a true Chinese culture of somebody that grew up in China.
Right.
So that's how I felt different from everyone, and that's how they viewed me differently.
So, but the trip helped bring that.
The trip was
brought that
the
out.
Light bulb. Yeah,
Gotcha.
That was my biggest takeaway from the whole thing.
So that was your biggest takeaway. Your biggest takeaway was invoking that identity.
Well, yeah, who I was and how I identified myself.
That's pretty powerful. And I think my biggest takeaway was that going outside somewhere where it's completely foreign to you, and not overthinking it and having a good time and absorbing all the experiences. I had, like I said, I mean, it was one of the best trips because I met friends like you. I ate different things. I talked to different people. I got smashed in basketball. I mean, but it was a great trip, and I was open to it. So I'm going to finish this episode with a couple of things I like to do. It's a speed round. I don't think Wayne even knew I do these for my podcast.
Okay.
But, Wayne, I'm going to ask you some random questions. Very simple. I want you to first thing to come off the top of your head, all right? All right?
Okay.
So, Marvel versus DC. What's better in comics?
Marvel.
Okay. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, that's all. I dream about this one every night. Man, you got to put me on the spot like that.
Yeah.
It's probably. I mean, I feel like Superman's got it all. He's a good dude.
So Superman.
Yeah, let's just go with Superman. Like, part of me thinks like Wolverine would be pretty cool, but I don't.
That was mine. Was Wolverine.
I'm gonna go Superman. 'Cause
Superman.
He can fly.
A little bit of everything.
Wait, back up. Professor Xavier.
Yeah, but
I got mind control.
Okay, that's pretty dope. And then, all right, next one: beer, wine, or liquor.
Honestly, I don't really drink that much anymore. But if I do drink, it's typically wine. Like I'll have a glass of wine every once in a while.
Besides going to China, what's one place in the world you want to go to?
Christmas Island.
Where's that?
It's
Christmas.
It's in the Indian Ocean. It's a fishing destination.
Oh, see. Oh, plug. Got to do the plug. So Wayne is going to do a fishing podcast to tie in that interest in fishing. So keep a lookout for that. And, you know.
I did say it was in the Indian Ocean, right?
Yeah, some ocean.
Yeah, it's in the Indian Ocean, I think.
I never heard of it, so I learned something new today. And lastly, if you want to be a guest on Positive Philter, hit me up on pwilkerson3@gmail.com. If you have a question that you'd like me to answer in a future podcast, do the hashtag AskPositiveFilter on Twitter or leave a voicemail at 571-336-6560. Been a pleasure. Really liked having you as a guest, Wayne. Maybe we can do this again.
This was kind of random, though. It was kind of random. That's Phil's middle name, though, Mr. Random. Randomness.
Random. King of Random, actually.
King of Random. Oh, my bad.
Prince of... what's the random? You have been listening to Positive Filter, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career with a little self-help along the way. Positive Filter was edited by Ronald Young Jr., host of Time Well Spent podcast and creator of Oh It's Big Ron Studios. For this episode, I'd like to give a special thanks to my friend Wayne Tu for being a guest, Ryan Rusman for providing the music, Maggie Wilkerson for being an amazing and supportive wife, and lastly, anyone who took the time to listen to my podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your family and friends. Spreading positivity is a movement. Thanks for listening.